if I like something or like a movie or something, like I want to like, oh, I love this thing, I love that thing, and I want to capture just to show my emotions. I thought that guy, okay, that's how it started.
You're listening to Art Heroes Podcast, the show to help you thrive as a digital artist. Tune in to learn how to transform your passion into a career. Get inspired by other kick-ass 2D and 3D artists and find out what it takes to be an art hero.
Hello everyone, this is Maria JD, your host at Art Heroes Podcast, and this is holiday edition of the podcast, which means we prepared a lot of surprises for you guys. So make sure you listen until the end because we'll also announce the results and the winner of our giveaway. And today we're having Vimal Kerketta, who's really well known for his work in statue and figure community, for producing high-level likeness sculpts, and who works today for Vfx Studio in London. Let's dive into it. Vimal, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm actually pretty pumped about having you here because, I've been following you for a long time. I'm sure like many people, it's great to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me. And it's like 10 p.m. here, but
yes,
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. For everybody who's listening at the moment, we're having Vimal Kerketta at the moment, and Vimal is like from London, right? Is that where you're at? Okay, I can since I'm going to repeat again, I've been following you for a long time. I can go like for ages introducing you and like and like explaining your career, but I'm going to just summarize it that now, if I'm not mistaken, you are in Double Negative in London.
Yeah.
And still doing amazing stuff for big titles and movies, and focusing mainly on facial modeling. Is that right?
Modeling, because we do like all sort of work, mostly modeling, but sometimes we just like switch between. We have to like switch between departments. Sometimes concepting, sometimes like doing facial modeling, and sometimes just modeling.
Yes. No, cool. All right. But I just really wanted to kick off this chat with asking you how did you get started? Because from my perspective, you've been doing likeness for ages. But I don't know when this whole thing started. Looks like you were born with the ability to make likeness of people in 3D. I'm not sure if that's true.
Yeah, I think I was like really obsessed with the faces when I was a kid, because I used to like draw a lot just for just faces and those kind of things, like likenesses. But what happens later on, like I honestly got like I used to draw a lot, like every day, just faces, faces, faces. And then when I did my high school, I was like, what to do now? And I didn't even know that I can actually make a career in this field.
Okay.
And I just did like computer science honors, and I was like, I spent like 3 years in that. And in each class, I was at the back seat, just drawing, on my bags, like portraits of different people. And after 3 years spending, I was like, this is not for me. And that's why I like quit that thing and just joined a small institute. And I started doing like, modeling in 3D.
Right.
And I did like
okay. So for you, it was like, it started all like with actual drawing, but you didn't do like art school or anything.
No, I didn't do that. But
okay.
Your interest in faces, and that's how it turned into like faces in paper first, and then I started doing caricatures. Like I was really obsessed.
Right.
And then Photoshop, and then when I turned to ZBrush, it was like game changing.
Yeah, well, I hear this all the time. Believe it or not. But so like, did you draw like celebrities or like your mom and dad? Who were your first targets?
It was usually the celebrities, because I was like, it was more like I wanted to, if I like something or like a movie or something, like I want to like, oh, I love this thing, I love that thing, and I want to capture just to show my emotions. I thought that guy, okay, that's how it started. But usually I do sketch for people also.
Do you still draw something?
Sometimes, but usually I sculpt more now.
Yeah, of course. But since now there is ZBrush, what's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes you still draw?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So, and now what's the type of projects that you do for yourself? Like, I think that's also pretty interesting to like explore that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I keep some projects like a long-term project, which is like I can, do work on something, and I sometimes I just keep like short ones. So I like switching between the projects. I don't like to spend more time in one project because for I have a day job, so I spend whole day in GNEC, and after that you don't get much time to work on anything else. So that's why I
Yeah.
try to switch between them and see everything with fresh perspective. Next day
Yeah.
and keep yeah, that's my
So,
main thing.
but what is the short project and like long project for you? To me, your speed is pretty impressive. I open your Instagram, like day one, there is a Wolverine. Day two, there is like, a Spider-Man. Like, well, the other way around, reverse the order.
Project, if I say after work, is going to be like 2 days, just like after one day, and then blocking at one thing, and the next day refining that. So it's going to be like, I would say 8 hours or something.
Right. Like
And
8 hours
sometimes,
of sculpting.
yeah, like proper, like from rendering to like base, everything. And sometimes I just like do speed sculpt for 1 hour, or like making just to capture the essence of the character and just to not caring about any detail,
Okay.
just get the feel of the character.
Okay. But so like what is a finished character for you then?
For in terms, yeah, it depends. In terms of like if you're making a like high poly asset or a likeness.
Yeah.
For likeness, it could take like a month, it could take a week, and it could take a day. So I've finished I've finished some projects in a day just to want to see how much speed I can, how fast I can be. So I was doing like 1 day projects from start to finish. Sometimes I was doing like 7 days. So it totally depends upon how much understanding you have for the phase that you are doing. Sometimes I feel like when I'm doing something, I feel like, oh, I think I can capture this guy or maybe girl in 1 day. So I keep that guy as like 1 day project. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's more like if I see something, as- of, for me, if this face is very simple, that's the very hardest thing, even if
Right.
it's like female or like male.
So what kind of research then do you do? Like, I think it's really interesting when you said now, like about understanding the face,
Mhm.
looks like makes a big difference in between like in the whole, like, let's say pipeline, right?
Yeah.
Of like likeness creation. So what kind
Yeah.
of research do you put in like,
You mean what kind of resources or?
yeah, no research. So like, how do you make sure that you actually understand the face?
Okay, so for me, when I start something, even if from a sphere or even from a base mesh, what I do is I don't, trace it. Like but like what I've seen is people like tracing, putting the image at the back, and then matching. For me, it's more like I just try to capture what I see as much as I can, and then like if I'm happy with all the forms, I've tried to capture the essence, and then try to like match it as like as overlaying and try to match it, and it's like an answer for me.
Hmm.
So I try to do the mistake and then check it. Instead of checking it, I'm not doing any mistake, right? Does this
Wow.
make any sense?
This is pretty analog. That's kind of a, the opposite of the technology is just like still doing things by eye.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you saying that you don't believe in like tracing shortcut or like in any
No,
other shortcuts?
what I mean is I do that, but
Okay.
like it's like an answer,
Yeah.
So I want to train my eyes first,
Yeah.
and then trace, and then see how close I am to that particular image. If I'm not, I am okay. I know where the mistake is. But if I go matching it first, then I know exactly. I'm just trying to be more, technical in terms of that. I'm not following the forms. So that's. I think I might be wrong, but that works for me.
Yeah, I
Because
love that. No, like I absolutely love that. I think it sounds like a personal quest every time
yeah,
you like
yeah,
jump in the new likeness.
yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, then it's not boring, of course. um, and the other thing, like, that I really wanted to touch on is your coming back to your career because I think it's like pretty impressive.
Mhm.
So, from what I know, for the past 2 years, you've been in double negative.
Yeah.
And before that, you've been freelancing and doing like other things and working with other like clients and studios. But I mean, still pretty much in the same terrain. How does it compare from your perspective, working for, one of the best studios out there
Mhm.
versus being more or less independent? Yeah. So how do you see this whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's kind of perfect, like personal preference, because working in a big studio, you're working with really talented people. Like the group of colleagues I have, like working, and they're like really, really talented. So we learn with each other. So it has its own perk. And when you're working as a freelancer, it has its own perk because you're like working on some stuff that you actually like.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes even in the studio, you get to work on stuff you don't like. So everything has their own perks and
Mm-hmm.
this thing. And with if you if I'm talking about freelancer, like if I was a freelancer, I was traveling a lot. I had my laptop. I was traveling. I was going to Thailand, working from there, and working, you can work from beach. So you have like so much flexibility. But as compared to working in a studio, it's different. You don't have that.
Yeah. So, what would you recommend? Like, there's so many artists out there who are just beginning and still studying or still have just like the first gigs, and I think there are pretty different paths. So, if you want to be successful freelancer versus when you want to work for a successful for like sorry, not successful for like big studio, there are just different steps that you need to take. What would you say would be like the the best in your opinion now, like now that you have both experiences?
Mhm. I think it's totally depends upon the upon an artist, but they want
Okay.
to, like if they want to be work for a big game or big movie, they want to be a part of something bigger rather than as a contractor. So it's gonna be totally up to them. But in order to get in any first, you have to be good first of all. Like you have to make sure what you want to be in life. You want to be a like texturing artist, character artist, animator, rigger. So you have to like focus on that particular area, and then once you are in, then you can do whatever you want. But I think even with that, like you need to have some studio experience, because I think it's going to help you know how things work, how pipeline works. So
And what
I,
was your first studio experience?
okay, it was 9 years ago.
Okay.
So I was hired as a game artist at that time. So I didn't know anything. I just know ZBrush, and then I knew just like a bit Maya, and I think it was really good. It was good. It was an outsourcing studio.
Okay.
I get to learn everything, all the pipeline and everything.
Where was that?
It was in India.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
that's right. That's brings me to the next question that I was really wanted to ask. Where else did you work except like India and now the UK? Where like did you
so
get to like work in any other countries?
no, I think this is my first VFX studio.
Okay.
Before that, this one was in India. I worked there for like 4 years, and just after that, I quit the job and went to like proper freelancing for like 3 years. And then after that, like I was having drinks with my friends, and I got a call from Dean like, "Oh, you want to join?" Oh no, interesting. Like I want to see how working in studio in London looks like. So I just after 1 month, I was in here. So
Of course. It's like
it's
I'm
pretty good.
coming.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Great job on that. I'm sure it felt amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so why do you think it's you and not anybody else? Because it's just in general in the whole like in this whole world, the competition is so intense, and I'm sure you feel it more than probably many others, being born in India and now like working in a top studio.
Mm.
So like, what do you think made this for you?
I think important thing for me, because when I started my career, I was stupid. You know, I mean, I didn't have any aim. I was like, I was really enjoying ZBrush, and I'll keep doing it. There was no aim that, oh, I'm gonna go this big studio, I'm gonna go there. There was no aim. And because I loved it so much, I was doing like whole day trying to like this thing, posting my work online, and that's how I got my first job offer. Like it was in different state. I was like, oh, that's good. Somebody's really paying me to those kind of work, something that's thing. And I went there, so I learned a lot, like how industry works and everything. And that's how I was like, okay, this is going in the right path. And that's how I was, because I didn't know that you can actually make a career out of making faces. And I didn't even know at that time that face was like really important. I just wanted to do that because I loved it. And autumn is like, and everything started taking shape. And now I'm just here in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, are you saying that your first job came out of something that you posted online?
Yeah.
Do you
Because I
know what
used
was
to,
that?
it was more like my shitty blog. I was posting like my caricatures, like my 2D stuff, and some of my 3D stuff. And then there was a new company called Little Red Zombies. It was in a different. It was an outsourcing studio, and they saw my work and they were like, "Oh, that's his work is good, and I think the guy has potential." And I was a newbie at that time. I learned a lot in the studio, and later I took my own path.
Yeah, no, of course. So, but like, now I wouldn't say that any of your blogs or like, social media channels are shitty because, yeah, at least 35,000 people are also not thinking the same. And that's only on Instagram and probably I don't know how many on like other platforms. I just have like the Instagram open. Do you put a lot of time in like growing your social presence, or does it just come to you like naturally, or like what is it like for you?
I think it's just more like I like doing more art, and I just post like stupid things about my friends about this thing. But for me, important thing is to be consistent when you're working. you know and I keep like professional thing, like when I work in a studio, this thing is different for me. Actually, I haven't to post anything related to my studio work in my Instagram. Everything that you see there is all my personal work. So I rely more on my personal work, trying to develop myself, trying to make more art. That's how I just like do things what I love.
Love that. So, how frequently do you tend to finish or post your art? Because consistency means some regularity.
Yeah, yeah. I think it totally depends upon how much free I am, because I
Mhm.
do freelance work also after work. And then sometimes I feel like, okay, no, I just want to like focus on my work, and I do it. I spend like 2 3 hours and then post on my personal or whatever I'm doing right now. So that's and you can see all my progress work, what I do
Yeah.
at night, and that's posted. I don't care about if people like it or not. And
Well, people seem to like it.
yeah.
What else like do you get from social media? Because still some dedication to keep this whole thing up, or is
Mhm.
it just in case, like a backup plan in case you need it once, or like what is it?
I, I, I think it's just a matter. I just do my stuff. That's the thing. So like stuff like this, you
Oh
know,
yes, show.
oh yeah, yeah, I have to show this one. So that's stuff like this. Like I just do, giveaways on this kind of things, because I'm gonna put that on giveaway.
Hmm.
I'm gonna put like for the followers. So it's a good thing because you're making an audience bigger, and that brings you more work, known in the industry. And actually got so much work from Instagram also, like Facebook or like Outstation, like a subs work. But it's more like I don't get much time to do all the things, and I don't want to do just be busy with everything, and don't do my personal work or other things, give time to other things, because I do a lot of things. And
What are the other things that you do?
sometimes travel, sometimes my magic, and my if you magic is my other hobby right now.
Yes, all right. Yeah, okay, let's talk about magic. Like it's been like too much 3D lately. What is magic to you? What is it like?
Magic is a lot of things. It's more like you're putting your thoughts, and it's more about distracting people. Like
Okay.
how to distract people to your magic. It's all about the mind games, and actually it will help dealing with things also. It's not just previously I was thinking magic is just like showing card tricks, but it's a lot bigger than that. It's like a
Wow.
it's like a whole feed. There are different principles, there are different things, there are different slides. When you touch somebody, so mind goes here, and then you doing something else, right? So it's more of a distraction, most of a mix of everything.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, it sounds more of like psychology
Yeah,
than, yeah, than anything else.
it's more like how you put your words. It's called like magician choice and those kind of things. So it's more in how to influence people, how to say something, how to touch, so that they will exactly do what you want them to do. So I'm just learning right now, but it's very interesting.
Geez, that's fascinating. Is there a link in between magic and 3D, or they're just like two separate worlds for you, and like one is like, hobby?
Great word, but I'm trying to link it together. How to influence the clients to give me more money.
You know what? I think I've got an idea. I've got a head here, that the one that you made.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna
the
for it,
easiest way, yeah, the easiest way to link it with magic is to make it disappear.
bring it here.
Oh my God. There was some pretty cool magic happening right here, right
Yeah,
now. We
yeah,
just transferred one's 3D printed head to,
yeah.
oh my God, that was insane. That's pretty cool though, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go back to the business. I think that was a pretty cool trick that
Yeah.
got me completely off the track. Okay. I know that you don't only sculpt other people, you also sculpt yourself. I was really like fascinated to see that you're really into like, I'm not sure if it is still now, but health and well-being. Do you still dedicate time to that, like feeling well in your body?
So what is it?
To like, do you still dedicate time to like, I don't know, like gym and well-being and all of
Yeah,
this?
and honestly, I'm trying my level best right now because I'm trying. Like I'll actually go in lunch just to have some time, and then because it's very hard for me to do freelance and sometime studio work, personal work, hang out with friends, and so I need to find some time just to sweep in. But I'm trying my level best right now.
No, because I remember again coming back to your Instagram, seeing like one picture, the typical like before and after type of thing, and I
Yeah,
was like, "What? Seriously? Can't be the same. It can't be the same Vimal."
yeah. That was when I was like freelancing. So right now I'm freelancing plus having doing a job. So it's getting a bit.
So how do you see the whole thing, like of well-being for an artist? Because there's a lot of hours that you sit in front of the laptop, and the it's everything is taxing for the back, for the
Yeah,
body, for the eyes, and pretty much your life career depends on your sight, your
yeah.
hands, and many things. So what do you personally do, and what do you recommend kind of doing to stay well?
I think I'm the worst example right now. But I think
Fine.
yeah, but the thing is, it's really important to take care of yourselves. And right now I'm trying to do that, but because I need to like cut down some stuff, and because of deadlines and other things, it becomes so much. But after some time, I'm gonna do that. Like for sure, I'm gonna cut off and make a proper, uh,
Would you like have like a special diet, or would you just, I don't know, do any like back exercises or bother about it at all?
no,
Or
it is,
do you
it
think
is,
like it's not really the thing?
no, it is what you like, what you feel to your body, it will turn it, like that.
Yeah.
So food is really important. Like when I was doing that, I was calculating exact calories, how much I have to eat, making breakfast, making dinner, and exactly eating what I want. And that's how the transformation happened at that time. So I'm gonna do the same thing, and actually I started doing that also. So this will be helpful in a couple of
Do you
months.
think it somehow like does what you eat influence what you like you're kind of a produce in the end, or that's just about how you feel?
I think it's both. It
Okay.
does. It does actually help. Like when I was doing that, and after doing, workout, you feel like really refreshed. Your mind have so much energy. Like, okay, I'm gonna start working now. So it's more energy. So it's good.
Okay.
Everybody
Well,
should
that's
do that.
that's cool. Well, I mean, it's good to know that it's not only physical, but it's also kind of,
Yeah,
emotional.
yeah.
Basically, now you're very in a sweet spot. How do you see your and just in general artistic progression for the future? I mean,
Mhm.
because many artists I know really don't want to go into like managerial positions or anything like this because it's like very different. How do you see it for yourself? Like, do you actually want to stay an artist? Do you think it's a different like skill set from the manager, or yeah, what do you think
I
about
think
that?
yeah, it's a good question actually. So it's actually honestly depends upon, again, for an artist. For me, I don't want to be, in going to managerial position, because it's more about meetings and other things. I might go maybe in future, like if I really think I'm really became like at some point of time like I'm really good in this, but I like to do things than managing stuff. But maybe in
Okay.
future my mind might change. I was like, okay, now I want to spread my knowledge to other people and just guide them.
Okay. But do you like now spread your knowledge? Do you teach anywhere?
And I not really actually. I don't have any online courses right now, because
Okay.
same thing, like because I don't have much time to make because if I want to make something, make a tutorial or something, or give a online classes, I want to dedicate like my proper time to the students. I just want to don't want to be put them in the back seat and just don't care about them. I want to have like proper class and teach what I know.
No, I sure I absolutely love that. The commitment actually
Yeah.
to one thing. Like talking like, about the whole thing about like spreading the knowledge. So from what I understand, you're pretty much self-taught
Hmm.
because you did an absolutely different thing like at school.
Yeah.
How do you learn now, get like new skills? Like as of today, because you've got such a short time, do you
Mhm.
just like experiment or do you still like do
Yeah, I still
classes?
take like recently I took Chris Costa's class.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's really good to once in a while just take classes. I do sometimes traditional also. So like in April, I guess I took a class with Aris Color Contest, and I was doing like traditional sculpting just to just to see how it feels with hands doing those kind of stuff. And I try to learn with other people, other artists, which I really admire, and
Hmm.
it really pushes me because they have their own knowledge, they have their own skill set they have learned in like 20 years or like whatever. And to learn from them, your is speed of the process what you want to do.
Hmm.
So, like take classes from others and then do my stuff.
Cool. I'm sure that like loads of your followers ask you, oh, Vimal, like give me a tip. Um,
Mhm.
I'm learning what's the best way to go about, I don't know, learning like character creation in ZBrush.
Mhm.
What do I
Mhm.
do if I want to be like you?
Oh, it's more about, okay, the first exact like is, I mean, advice I would give you is it needs to be, don't focus on any detail. That's the first advice. Like details is nothing. You need to see the bigger picture, how things work, what how the shape works, the shape forms, the silhouette, and those kind of things. That's the most important thing students to learn before they started doing using texturing XYZ or any other stuff, or making forwards or something. You need to have know how the forms work, how forms collide with each other, how the principle works, how the gravity works, how the weight works, how the skin fold works. Those are things they need to learn first, rather than going deep in the detailing.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then and only then start adding the details.
yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
when I see someone from far, we don't see like, oh, I see your skin pores, like that. You just see like, oh, that's a guy. You see the forms. You
Yeah, yeah,
see
yeah, that's
the
true.
character.
That's a really good point. That's exactly what you see, yes.
Like if you go to the guys, oh, I see your skin pores. Yeah,
Yeah. Very nice porosity on like, lower chin. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. And so, okay. So what do you think it will be like the easiest way to learn forms? Is starting with traditional art the best way? Jumping straight into 3D is a shorter like a faster solution.
I think for me, if you want to learn, like you want to learn forms, well, I think 3D is a faster way to learn, anatomy and other things. Because if you're doing traditional, you have to focus more on the base, creating the base. It's more about, it's more time consuming. but you will learn a lot, but it's more time consuming. You can make more sculpts in ZBrush and learn a lot in terms of like volume and other things as compared to 3D in traditional. I never did traditional before, but I did a lot of sculpt in ZBrush. And when I turned it to like doing 3D, it was very helpful for me because I know the forms, and it was just for me. It was replicating how to do things, how to do techniques, how to learn. I mean, that's the thing I learned doing traditional. But it's if you're doing both, that's the best thing. It's like best of both worlds. I would like
Mm-hmm.
to do both because it feels so good to do something with clay, and it restricts yourself. It's restricting yourself to look, not going in detail. You have to do proper, silhouette, manage everything. You have to think, even if you have to put a small pose or something, or like you have to think a lot. Just putting even a small thought. So it's more about freeing your mind if you're doing stuff in traditional. Learning new things, learning anatomy, ZBrush.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So anatomy would be just very like kind of a 3D modeling specific then.
Yeah.
So not expand into like all the anatomy that you can learn, just like focus on one thing that you are planning to do. Would that be the better way?
I think is if it depends if you want to be a character artist or like modeler, you need to learn both. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you are really good anatomy, it's really good because mostly in movies you deal with so many characters with because I've seen some stuff that doesn't have any good anatomy in creature movies, so you'll see, oh, it's not working well. So you need to have that anatomy is the basic knowledge that need to have like proper ones, but you
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to learn other things also.
Okay. Interesting. And what's your take on, let's say, education in 3D? If you were to start now, so if you were to talk to yourself
Yeah.
that is starting like the whole journey, would you
Mhm.
say like, oh, Vimal, go watch more YouTube, or like, Vimal, go and do this art school focusing on like digital art, or like, Vimal, go and take like 20 more classes with Chris Costa? What would you say?
I will take the classes.
All right.
I will take the classes. I was thinking about just going to LA or like learning from like traditional sculptors or like who is really good in this, or maybe like go take some time off from work and just focus on studies like for a couple of months. And this was I was thinking, near future, just to like learn more and not focusing more on technical aspect, just more about artistic things.
Yeah. But like classes, you mean like university, like proper thing?
Yeah, 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 proper
Wow.
this thing.
Wow. Okay. So you wouldn't consider that like too long of a process?
I think it's not I would not call it university. It's more like learning from like going for a workshop for like a
Okay.
month, something a week, somebody. And if I'm making something, I was to try to like focus more and then make it like better. Just needs to realize what's not good at it. I
Mm-hmm.
want to take classes on that. Like for example, I mostly my sculpt you see is it's for printing and other things. But if I want to learn like rendering, that's why I took a class from Chris, which is really good in rendering. So I have all my videos, but I don't not making much time just to for that. But in near future, I'm gonna render all my stuff in realistically.
I love that. Then what's your take on learning from YouTube? Like, or do you think the whole education will be ever available like at a higher level for free? And is it going to be like reliable?
I think nowadays everything is on YouTube. Like everything, whatever you learn, just Google it. You'll find everything, and it's more about knowledge. If you are learning from YouTube, it's fine, and learning with people, other people is also it's not compulsory
Okay.
because for me, I didn't learn properly. This kind of art school I didn't go, but I learned everything from online resources, going here and then YouTube. So you can learn anything online right now, and maybe after some time it's gonna be get worse. So even everything will be online. I don't know.
Yeah. But why would you still like, choose like go into a workshop if everything is available?
It's more like learning from somebody. Like if I'm learning from online, and learning from like face to face. It's a bit different.
Okay.
Like face to face, working as an artist, like he can give me feedback like personally. This
Okay.
is wrong. This
So
is
you mean feedback even when it's online, it's still
yeah,
like learning from a person for the sake of getting this feedback.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No,
But
I
like
get you now.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
no.
it's
Mhm.
gonna be like getting a feedback after a week or something, or maybe like taking a workshop, working with them face to face, and just it's kind of maybe different.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. Well, cool. That's pretty much what I really wanted to cover today and just a little bit more. I mean, the whole magic thing. Vimal, like before you go, I just have 10 really quick questions
Yeah,
that you can, it's like our traditional questionnaire, and
yeah.
you can reply in one sentence or in one word, whatever you feel like. All right?
Okay.
Just going to run you through them. So, what's your favorite place in the world?
Okay, Switzerland. I didn't go
uh,
there. It was
you
like
didn't go there,
no.
but
It's where
it's still your favorite place in the
I want
world.
to go there because it's so beautiful. I want to go there.
Okay. While you're working, what are you listening to?
Actually, I don't. I just do sometimes podcasts or just Netflix and just watch and work.
Okay. Uh, what's your best way to gain inspiration?
Just to like surround yourself with all the artists you admire and their work. Like for me, I have like stuff from even excuse me, I have like stuff from this one from Aries Color Contest.
I love that.
Yeah, I have stuff from different artists. I have stuff from that's from also from him. So I just surround myself with art from different artists just to see them and like get inspired.
Nice. Very like, yeah, that's really close artistic presence, like right on your desk.
Getting with that
Um, all right, moving on. What's your big life goal?
life goal. Okay, it's a tough question.
I know,
Yeah,
like 10 p.m.
yeah, it's a tough question. But the thing is, I might after some time have my own studio or something.
Okay. What's your favorite drink?
A drink, rum and coke.
I'm with you on that. Cheers. Okay. First thing that you do in the morning after you wake up.
Tell my Alexa to shut up. She
Okay.
screams in the morning like it's, it's so annoying.
If you didn't become a digital artist, who would you be? What's your backup career?
Don't know honestly. There's no backup thing.
There's
There's
no
no
plan B.
there's no backup. That's the thing I want to. There's no
All
backup.
right. Oh my God. This is really strong. Okay. Moving on. What's your recent favorite book or movie? Something that you can recommend.
I like watching. I mean, it's been a while. I haven't read any books. So
Okay, you can recommend a
I book.
movie.
I just like learn, see books from like on my own stuff, like anatomy things and those kind of things. Other than that, I don't read any books.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So recommend any movie. I guess like yeah, something that's not Avengers.
First thing movie that came. I mean, I'm just like going with like, my gut. The first movie that came in my mind it was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
The Secret Life of?
Walter Mitty.
Okay. Oh my God, I have to watch that. I haven't seen
I don't
that.
know, but that's movie when I watch it, I don't know why, but it's so good for me. Like I feel
Okay. Cool.
like
Add in
traveling
that.
more. I feel like
Add in
traveling more.
that. All right. Then the next one is, who are your legends? Who do you admire and follow? Like as in, artistically or like personally.
Ah, for me right now is mostly traditional artists right now. Like, and if I say Simon Lee and Chris Costa and Steve Lord.
Okay.
Yeah, there are actually many more. But when I think of like choosing one of them, it feels a bit
No, I mean like yeah, several. That's fine.
looking from
Yeah.
everybody. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah, yeah. When
tricky to pick.
they're not they're not gonna be upset, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So and the last one. So what are the top things on your bucket list?
Top things. Okay. First thing is to travel a lot. It's more like traveling. I want to travel, like go for, you know, traveling to the world tour or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my.
Do you have like any specific like destinations in mind?
For now, it's
Except
Tokyo.
except Switzerland.
For now, it's Tokyo.
Tokyo, man. You should come. Yeah. Are you going already? Like you should like,
No, I
just buy a
haven't been
ticket.
there. No. I haven't been there, but that's my list. This Tokyo is there. Chernobyl.
Okay.
It's so random. Right after Tokyo is Chernobyl. No,
Okay, no, like I love that.
it's more like I want to go places where it's kind of different, just from like not the
Yeah, I'm
usual.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's going to be, pretty inspiring in so many senses.
Yeah.
Just like different.
Yeah.
Vimal, we're done. Thanks so much again. Yeah, appreciate you being here that late, and thanks so much for performing the magical trick with me.
Pleasure. Man. Thanks.
Yeah. I feel like a part of the of something bigger now. All right. Thanks again for coming.
For sure. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. And now let's jump right into our Christmas surprises. And I'll start with announcing the winner of our podcast giveaway. And it's our listener with the email that starts with JDSCHNick98. So if you're this person, you should have already received an email that was sent out just this morning. So just get back to us and get full access to Art Heroes Stylized Character Program absolutely for free. Thank you for being such a good fan. We love you, and we're looking forward to having you on the program. And then for the rest of you guys, there are actually two other things. We decided to give out a little Christmas surprise for everyone who's listening to the show. Basically, exclusively to Art Heroes podcast listeners, we issued a 10% discount code for the Stylized Character Program that is valid only this year, so only this holiday season. So if you want to treat yourself to the learning experience starting early next year, so the program starts on January 19th, you can use Art Heroes Christmas discount code, just like this, Art Heroes Christmas, all capitals, and you'll get your 10% off, which equals to almost $100 in savings. So isn't it amazing? And the other thing that we're preparing for all of you guys is a portfolio review that will be happening early next year. So the second week of January, we'll have 2 or 3 quite amazing artists reviewing all of the portfolios that come our way on the webinar. And again, this will be free for everyone, and would love you to take advantage of this opportunity. So just make sure you follow us, and we'll be posting the link to this event. You will just need to send us your portfolio and get the feedback. That's it for today, guys. Have an amazing year ahead. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll see you just exactly in a week's time. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Art Heroes Podcast. Check out www.artheroes.co for show notes, more interviews, and free tools made for you by our team of mentors. Tune in next week for more inspiration, and keep up the great work, hero.